Welcome to part 10 of this series, trying to locate the sons of Noah and where they really went to. In this video we're going to be looking at two more sons of Canaan. We're going to be looking at Sini, the Sinites, and also Sidon, the firstborn of Canaan. But we're going to start with the Sinites and start with this prophecy of Isaiah. And it says, "Surely this shall come from afar. Look, those from the north and the west, and these from the land of Sinim. Sing, O heavens, be joyful, O earth, and break out in singing, O mountains. For the Lord hath comforted his people, and will have mercy on his afflicted." So a very amazing prophecy and verse. But who are these people from the land of Sinim? Okay, that's what we're going to look at now. And we're going to use the KJV today, a very nice site. And it says here that the Chinese Union version of the Bible translates Sinim as Qin country. Okay, and this equating this Qin country with the Qin dynasty of China. And it says, since the establishment of the Qin or Sin dynasty, so there's a connection with Sin, maybe with the Sinites and Sini, son of Canaan, in 221 BC, the large Far East nation has been called China or Sina. Some translations refuse the reading as found in the Masoretic text. So not all Bibles agree on this. To show you, you've got these different Bibles, some saying Sinim, some equating it with China, but some equating it with Syene and Aswan in Egypt. Just to show you that not all the Bibles are of the same opinion on this. Let's carry on. And it says, these modern scholars assume that Isaiah could not have referred to China because Sinim came to mean China only after 221 BC, hundreds of years after the life of Isaiah. During Isaiah's life, so around the 8th century BC, the Qin state was just a small state among hundreds of other states in the region. So, what it's saying is, it's like a lack of trust in the Bible. How could Isaiah know that China would eventually become known as Sinim? Because it was hundreds of years after his life. But this site goes on to give the example of Isaiah was prophetically able to call King Cyrus by name before King Cyrus was even born. So it's another prophecy of Isaiah saying that there's going to be this King Cyrus who's going to be the servant of God. So it's using another example saying, Isaiah obviously really was a major prophet, able to prophesize these things. But some scholars, they struggle with that lack of trust. And it says, I want to show you, let me just show you where this state was. Okay, so this is the Qin state, or the Sin state, the Sini. But it says here, Qin emerged as one of the dominant powers of the 7 warring states and unified the 7 states of China in 221 BC under Qin Shi Huang. It established the Qin dynasty, which was short-lived but greatly influenced later Chinese history. Now, I'm not going to go too much into this because, I think someone that's confident with the languages, confident with the history and the regions, needs to cover this to do it justice. So, we're just looking at some of the basic things here. But I also want to show you how you also have these Sino-Tibetan languages. So you see that Sino or Sina, all these different languages here. Because China is referred to as Sino, because when China is in a war, say the Chinese are fighting against the French, it's known as the Sino-French War. So that's Sino representing China. And here we see the Chinese-Japanese War, but it's actually called the Sino-Japanese War. It's just to show how China was known as the land of Sinim, or Sinai. Possibly, like we're saying, after these Sinites, Sini, son of Canaan. But the amazing thing that I saw, which took me by surprise a bit, was this miraculous growth of Christians in China. And we see here that, around 1997 it was less than 20 million. Obviously this is estimates, but we've got this miraculous growth, and coming to our time, over 100 million Christians in China. And it's quite amazing because if you think about that, it would actually make China one of the largest Christian nations in the world. because obviously the population of China is so large that just a 2 or 3% makes a huge number, and it might not be. We might not actually think about that it actually could be one of the largest Christian nations in the world now, because we think about it, connected with atheism and with the governments, with the state religion being atheism, if that's a religion, I'm not sure, but I really thought this was amazing because this could actually show that this prophecy of Isaiah is coming true in our time, that these followers are going to come from the land of Sinim, and now we're seeing potentially this rapid growth of Christianity in China. So isn't that amazing? Now at the start of the video I had this map here showing Abyssinia, and I was wondering about this part of the word here where it says Sini or Sinai, Abyssinia, if this could be connected to the Sinites and Sini, son of Canaan. So that's what we're going to look at now by going on to look at Sidon, son of Canaan. And I was thinking about Sidon, and I was looking for Sidon, and it never occurred to me to look at the Sudan, this region of the Sudan. Now this is actually including both countries, okay, the north and the south, this highlighted area. But we can see the similarity of this word Sudan and Sidon. And if we go to the Bible, it tells us that in Joshua 11:8 it says, "And the Lord delivered them into the hand of Israel, who smote them and chased them unto great Sidon." Okay, so Sidon was considered great, and the Z is interchangeable with the S, so it could be spelt with a Z or an S. So Sidon the Great. So I was wondering that this could actually potentially be described as a great territory. Could this be connected to Sidon of the Bible and Sidon the Great? So I'm starting to wonder and look at this region a bit more seriously now, and I'm going to show you why, because we have this connection here with the Ethiopian histories, and it says here Canaan's son Arwadi and his wife Entella crossed from Asia into Ethiopia in 2101 BC, and the Kemet tribe were said to be descended from their son and Neir. Okay, there is a further Ethiopian tradition that two other Canaanite tribes, the Sinites and the Zemarites, also entered Ethiopia at that time. It was ruled by the kingdom of Cush, and became the Shankela and the Waitso peoples respectively. So here we have stories and legends that the Sinites were in Ethiopia. So maybe that could show that this could be connected to Sini and the Sinites, this word, Abyssinia. Sorry if I'm not pronouncing these tribes right, just do the best that I can. It says here, I actually want to go to this part here where it says, the Persian historian Muhammad ibn Jarir al-Tabari recounted a tradition that the wife of Canaan was named Arsel, a daughter of Batuel, son of Tyrus, and that she bore him the blacks, the Nubians, the Fezan, the Zanje, and the Zagawa, and all the people of the Sudan. So this is amazing that we have potentially this son of Japheth, Tyrus, intermarrying with Canaan, son of Ham, and producing these different kind of nations. Let me show you where the Nubians are in case you don't know where Nubia is. Okay, so this is Nubia in this territory here, and that's part of the Sudan that we've already kind of mentioned. Let me show you. So it's in this territory here of the Sudan, and let me show you some of these other places in case you don't know where they are. The Fezan, they living in the region of Libya. Okay, so there we can see there the Fezan. Okay, so this is in the territory of Libya. And the other interesting one is Zanje, I don't know how you pronounce that, Zanj. And predominantly this is in this area here with the Swahili coast. Now this is very interesting because if we think about what we've been presented with, we're told that this is the home of the Phoenicians here, near Turkey and Cyprus. But we think about the Greek historians with their legends that the Phoenicians their origin was by the Phoenician Sea. So we've learnt that the Phoenician Sea, the Erythraean Sea is in this region here. So the legends of some of the Greek historians said that they thought that the the Phoenicians' origin was in this region by the Erythraean Sea, which we know is like the Indian Ocean. And now we're starting to find evidence of Canaanite tribes in Sudan and Ethiopia, and even further south, by the Swahili coast, maybe showing that it's possibly true that the Phoenicians did originate in this region. So that's really starting to change this picture, and we're starting to get a different feeling about Canaan and Phoenicia. But this part here is actually very telling, because it says that this historian said that Canaan is the father of the Sudan. Isn't it amazing, actually describing him as the father of the Sudan? And we're wondering whether Sidon, son of Canaan, could be connected to Sudan. So very amazing. And it also says here that this German historian said that the sons of Canaan, the Archites and the Hamathites, first settled in the area of Greece and gave their names to the regions of Arcadia and Emathia. So we can see the influence of the Phoenicians in the land of Greece, which could be important as we go on in the study. But I also wanted to mention that there was this, some scholars are wondering and have wondered whether Sidon, son of Canaan, could be connected to Poseidon, the Greek god, the king of the sea in the Greek mythology, because we can see the similarity of the name Sidon and Poseidon. So maybe we'll look at that if we do a deep dive in Greek mythology, if we get the chance to do that. Now I just want to kind of show you how these Phoenicians, they took these names and used them in many locations, because it was obviously a maritime empire, and they had all these different port cities around, well, now we're starting to see around the world. And I want to show you how these names were carried. And we're going to look at Sidon as an example. Now we can see these different variations of the spelling, like Sidon, Seda, and we're going to look at some of these because we've got Seda in Algeria. So that's not too surprising, because the Phoenicians, we know the Phoenicians had a lot of territory and a lot of impact in this region of North Africa. If we think about the Carthage, the Empire of Carthage, and the war with the Romans in Carthage. And we've got Lebanon, but also Seda, Germany. That's interesting. And then Seda, Niger, Seda, Nigeria. So this is important because we're still trying to find where's Sidon the Great, the mother city. So some of these locations could be important in that study. Pakistan. And then we look at this other spelling, Seda, this spelling, we can see Algeria again, and Germany again. But also some interesting, because Oman and Ethiopia, thinking about this, some of the things we've already spoken about with Canaan, sons of Canaan influencing Ethiopia and Abyssinia. Just to show you how these names were used and taken to many different locations. And even this kind of variation here, Sedini in Italy, Sardinia, because the Phoenicians also had a big presence in some of these islands like Sardinia and Cyprus. So I hope you enjoyed this video on Sini, son of Canaan, and Sidon, and thinking about this amazing prophecy about surely these shall come from afar, look, those from the north and the west, and these from the land of Sinim. So now we're thinking possibly this could be China, which is amazing. And it says, sing, O heavens, be joyful, O earth, and break out in singing, O mountains, for the Lord hath comforted his people, and will have mercy on his afflicted. But Zion said, the Lord hath forsaken me, and my Lord hath forgotten me. So this is like speaking like Zion is like a mother, and the land of Zion is saying like, where are my children? Where are my inhabitants? Because Israel went into captivity. Now Zion is like, where are my inhabitants? Where are my children? But then we have this comforting part where it's saying, look, they're going to come from the north and the west, and even maybe as far away as China. And then it's saying how amazing it is that even the heavens and the earth must break out into singing in the mountains. So very amazing stuff. And I hope you enjoyed this video. In the next video we're going to be looking at the Amorites, son of Canaan, the Amor, son of Canaan. And then after that we'll look at Heth and the Hittites, leaving them till last because that's a very famous empire. But thank you for watching this one, and we'll see you in the next video.